Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to another episode of our Humankind Let's Play. This is probably the last episode for this Let's Play, as we're going to get our scientific victory soon. I know the game still has 134 turns left before turn 300, but if we hit the entire tech tree before then we win. So there's still a lot left. Looking at how many we selected, there's 30. And even if we reduce or increase our science output to 29, 30, well, they're getting progressively more expensive as we research more stuff. So it was like 29k, but now it's like 32k. So I'm guessing these will stay around 2 turns. It looks like a lot of turns, but I think our science output can grow a lot more. So we'll see. We'll see if we can push it any higher. Alright, we're still losing population there. We picked up another agrarian star. Population is still growing. And we're still stealing
You have
science.
unlocked the Research Institute. It will not merely provide additional answers, but open up a whole range of
which only gives us fame. Which is kind of lame, actually. Although fame is the, ultimate resource for the victory if you do go to 300 turns. At our current state, we don't need it. We picked up aerial warfare. We now can grab the aluminum. Airports can be built for air trade routes, monoplane fighters, strategic bombers. Unfortunately for this Let's Play, we're probably not going to focus a lot on military. We will most likely shift our next Let's Play, which will happen tomorrow, starting, to one where we will focus on war. And we'll also have that Let's Play focused like entirely. We're going to max difficulty and we're going to try to be aggressive and play a lot of wars to see how that plays in with the game. I would like an insane research quarters section here too, so we'll use the oil. We'll grab our aluminum wherever they are. There's one right there. Grab the oil. It will take time to build, of course, but we'll get those ready. So there's Aerodome. That's basically an airport, but not a traveling place. Airport actually provides air routes. Yeah, I don't think we need to be too shy about pollution. I think it will reach different tiers, and we can definitely go for things like that. There's a lot of infrastructure missing here, so we're not really reaching our max potential here either. Yeah, let's get these buildings done first. Where did we put our other research center? Here, right? That's a hamlet. That hamlet. If we build it here, we would have to replace all these with science research buildings. Which is it's okay, but it's not ideal. I think I can place it here. We get adjacency here, and we can just have change one farm. Our goal now is just to see how high we can push science, because I am very certain that the game will change this public school building. There is no way we'll ever see this again if they patch the game. Container ships plus 1% money per naval trade route on all cities. Okay. Aircraft carrier apparently can be invented right off the bat here. Battleships immune to suppression, can bombard district and battlefields from out of battle and remove dug-in on their status. Wonderful. Selling resources, gaining population, no longer absorbing science from other people. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the adjacency here and just build out research all around. Saves us a few research tiles. And speaking of research tiles, let's just pop in here. First, civil engineering give us colony grid. New cities will start with every infrastructure from era 1 to 5. Long span bridges, increasing the money on land trade routes. And we actually bumped up about 200 income there. And we get the construction team, which I think would be the upgraded unit of the colonist. Uranium enrichment has been invented, science plus 25, which is almost nothing at this point. and we get to exploit the uranium. And our science now 34k, which officially reduces everyone to 1 turn. So technically we're 25 turns away, but I think I can snowball this to where we can pick up technologies 2 per turn, if not more. Like right now, these that are close to us cost 20k, so we're close to 2 per turn, but we can get there. I am fairly confident. Infrastructure-wise, there's still things that could really help us, like adjacency on this, because the percentage base, and we'll still use this building here. Because these 2 slots will give 300% to both of them. These 2 slots, so we'll build those first. Army can just sit here and defend. That's why they came back. 1 turn away from getting Christ the Redeemer, which will give us another 10% science. Bunker building, rifleman, landing craft. These shaded out ones with a hash mark just means they're siege equipments that you can build when you are sieging. We're now at 34.7. Not much have changed. We're trying to catch up a little bit on a lot of our infrastructure. So there is a bit of a delay in terms of how much we're pushing these things, and we also need to build these districts. But we can also place this down. We built our science building where? Here. That's our research core, that's our public school. Radar has been researched. Anti-air surveillance. It's basically anti-air unit on the field. Anti-aircraft gun. This is an infrastructure build for the cities to defend. Continuous track research. Heavy weapon for anti-tank gun. Medium tank. 38.3. And we still have
Impressive
so many
and
slots.
dominating. Christo Redemptor removes any confusion about the importance of faith in everyday life.
You guys need to catch back up. Uranium for us. And back to building science. Now the game doesn't even acknowledge the multiple percentages that we are going to create with these. They're just looking at adjacency of that tile, but that's going to go up by another, 300-ish once that goes down. Yeah, we'll just focus on science for a little bit. That science went to 600 plus. There's probably better ones in the other 2 territory. 88, 600, right here. Double adjacency, so that will go to about 900, that will go to about 600. Power line research, aluminum that we have will increase the output of our food on farms, money on markets, science on research, and industry on makers. And this science on research is only going to get multiplied many times with our 300% bonus. Helicopter, gunships, we got irregulars guarding our cities, and we're looking at 43.3k. And that's just the beginning of our science streak here. So we got this one at 380 something. That might not be the best one to focus on right now. 600. There's no overlaps, right? There's no like double overlaps where we can take advantage of both. Yeah, let's put this one down here. We use another one right here. Look at these, double efficiency here again. Pushing these both higher and higher. Free trade agreement researched. Worldwide exchange, half the cost of acquiring resources through trade. Financial districts available. Science star has been earned. A second tech. Volunteer computing +1 science on regular districts. Regular districts. All districts? Like farm? Huh. Like all the computers are pooling resources. I mean, this kind of makes sense. It's like, you know, pooling for mining and stuff like that. So yeah, all our districts are producing passively 1 science. What is our science output at now? 48.3. So we gained about like around 4K there. We're not done. We're not anywhere close to being done. Let's keep building these here. I mean, money is really pointless. Is this still displaying the numbers? I feel like it got stuck on 923. It's 1,209. It cannot display 4-digit numbers. Oh my god. We broke it bad. Yeah, it can't display 4-digit numbers. High density habitation. Basically, every city gets more slots. Sewage for stability. Okay. Nuclear fission has been researched. We have access to nuclear weapon civic. Uranium radio. So basically for each uranium we have, we get better production of our regular districts. A nuclear plant, which will decrease pollution on train station, decrease pollution on makers' quarters. Nuclear submarine. You guys been impressing us?
Friend?
It would be best to let bygones be bygones.
I mean, I also think we
this
are
expression is me refraining
probably
from
strong enough to
laughing
force some vassalization, maybe from relationship, but maybe not from someone who we're currently in alliance with.
at- How do you do? In every sense of the...
I mean, everyone's bowing down to us. Rifle. I mean, it's kind of pointless, but we don't even have enough money for that. You've been busy. Minus pollution on train station and such. The problem is we're not the source of pollution. Well, that would actually be a source of pollution. Well, we don't mind. I think that is the play right here. To get the full surround. See, that one's done. It's producing 1,520 science in that one location. It can't even display that number. Yeah, that is probably how broken it is for the game, that they don't even have the display capabilities for that. Like, this is 1,235, but it's only showing us 923, which seems to be the highest it can display. Yeah, you can't even display 950, and somehow 923 is the highest it can display. We have the nuclear specter. Your scientists have combed the deepest depth of reality, and in their quest for knowledge have discovered weapons of terrifying power. As a society, you must be clear how they will be deployed. And we can gain grievances against empires for completing nuclear tests and detonating nuclear bombs of disarmament. Or we can go for proliferation and pick up constructible nuclear missiles. We get 50 fame for doing this, and cannot be placed any resources. Oceans can only be built once per empire. Huh. We lose some stability and gain some food. Or we really gain some food by just preventing or gain a grievance if anyone attempts to test. Well, it's fun to drop a few nukes. I don't think that's the purpose of this run here. So we'll pass on that. Rocket Science Research Space Station can be constructed now. Plus 100 fame, triggers a narrative event, plus 10 influence on main plaza. Similar to the missile launch, it's a tile you have to build. Cruise missiles. We are now at 61.1k science. We can pick up almost 3 tech in a turn. And these are not increasing any more costs. I think the costs bumped up when we finished the industrial era techs, and then basically there was a price adjustment, I think. But now it's looking like maybe 5 more turns till we get it all the way done. Because we are going to continue to grow. Suburb researched, minus 20% on the public ceremony cost, residential housing, stability per population in all city, that's automatic. Bomb shelter, food plaza, all sorts of great stuff. Builder star earn, we can claim a new wonder. This I'm still interested in. Another 10% science, and comm city is very easy for us to maintain, simply because we have the stability boost from the suburb one we just got.
I can see.
Come on, let's be real. Everyone's people will be happier if they were with us. They lost a piece of their land to yellow there. That's very interesting. Alright, space station takes 1 turn, and we do get a narrative event. So I think we will build that. It will have to use up a lot of terrain, it seems. Maybe our icy little island down here will be our launch site. Not bad. Keep it for ourselves? I don't know. It's in the Opera House. It's benefiting, I think, all cities, and then it gives stability to this like 1 city. Plus 2, yeah. It's really good. Plus 1 sign. Oh, that's because it's a district, so those 2 are not effects of that. The 20 stability plus 20 on city or outposts are basically all we get here. Let's just put it here. Paris. We'll continue our science push. And Loyi will help with projects. We'll trigger the space station one first, and then we'll go and help that one. Inconvenient truth. There has been an unsettling turbulence to the weather in recent years. The seasons seem less reliable. Is it because we're in tier... Oh, we're not there yet, but global warming, I guess. The seasons seem less reliable than they once did. Though scorned by many of their peers, several preeminent scientists argue that the emission of increasing industrialization are causing the planet's temperature to rise, and in turn its climate to grow less predictable. They claim that disruption will grow far more severe if rapid action is not taken. We can investigate to increase science, costs us little money. We can dismiss it, overproduce. We can act. We can gain science right off the bat. 800 though. And just protest against industries for 10 turns. We're going to investigate and trigger another narrative event, and also pick up science, which is going to be good for us, even though 35 is a joke.
You have reached the end of an ideology axis.
It's progress again.
Of all the epithets other empires may use for you, wishy-washy won't be one of them.
Someone finally arrived into the industrial era. The Aztec are now Zulus. They are 1 era behind. So they were 2 eras behind before that. And we have learned mechanized harvesting research. So good stuff. That also causes a little bit of pollution there. I mean, right now we haven't even reached level 1 pollution. There's really no effect. Perhaps we should have been the one polluting in the beginning. Main battle tanks, armor, personnel carriers, APC. Yeah. The space race is on, or the race is on. The Turks have successfully built the first space station, a giant leap for men or humankind, in 985 CE. Interplanetary expeditions are expensive, but they provide a great deal of fame and glory to those nations able to expand towards the stars. We're missing a bit of fuel, so we need to grab fuel from places that have it. Loyi will join the second share product, reducing it by 7 turns. Paris, we don't have oil in Paris. Bit unfortunate. There's some nice infrastructure that we would like. We can become a massive polluter with this, but we can also gain an incredible amount of science. This city has 9,978 science. 10% of that's like another 1,000, which I know with our numbers, it almost doesn't feel like anything. Let's just stick to science quarters for a little bit. The thin blue line, the whole empire and probably most of the world are watching with bated breath as the astronaut under your great flag glides out of the newly constructed space station for the first time. After the first few steps of this inaugural spacewalk, the astronaut speaks directly to you. This thin blue line, they say, pointing, is all that stands between all life on Earth and the cold, dark void of space. It's a truly humbling experience. Along with the rest of the empire, they await your reply. Your words will shape and inspire a generation. What will you say? We can stimulate, pushing progress and advancing learning. We can demand. I feel like just saying that these effects here should be percentages to make an impact in later stages of the game. Because if we're making 60, 70k science and we get 20 science for 10 turns, it's like boo-hoo. 0.1%, less than 0.1% of our science output. Demand, and we will be humble yet brave as we build our way towards the stars. 10 industry, if not besiege city, 10 turns. 15 money, we can motivate. Individualism. Like, none of this really have an impact on us. I mean, even then, we're going for science.
You're
Might
at
as well
the
do
end
it.
of an ideology axis? Well, there's something to be said for
Part two.
unswerving dedication to a cause.
Inconvenient truth. After long and careful study, your scientists present the results of their studies into the effect of an ever hotter Earth. Their finding makes for bleak reading. Flash fires and coastal flooding will ravage countless communities in the decades to come. There is a window of opportunity in which to prevent this, though the cost of change will be high. Should we act while we still can? Go for change or stasis for another event? This feels good. I mean, it's not a good bonus, but like, we want to change. We'll stay towards collectivism, max collectivism.
Though humankind's thirst for energy has no limits, the planet does. Now we can take what we
industry.
need while leaving something for the future.
Right, so I think there's a way where we can reduce pollution on Maker's Quarter by 100%, then we can start picking up some of the other ones. First one to renewable energy. We also picked up jet fighter. Stealth missile, that's our unique missile. We picked up automation research, fertilizer for 10% food if we have oil. It seems like we don't have 2 oil, which is a problem for us right now. Oh, I actually know where we might pick up oil. No, that's uranium. We just don't have oil. We don't have a second source of oil. That's the only oil we have in all of our land. That's actually pretty sad considering we picked up that territory very recently. I mean, oh, there's one right here. Hello, aluminum, please. Uranium. Where are you? We know we have one. Is it once again not getting marked? No, it's right here. I just couldn't see it. All right, those are all good. And we would like to build some more science districts. And we also would like to get those oils. So we can start doing that. We want to start producing percentage industry, reduced pollution. Those are all great ideas. We can go green before we go polluting. I don't think we have to worry about this anymore. Each population gives one as well, so like we're way ahead. Oh yeah, we're way ahead. I think it's here, even though it's actually not marked. That's missing an icon. These adjacency ones gonna push them off the charts. That's already 1,599. Just display error, max out at 923 apparently. Communication satellite research. We can now build a geosynchronized satellite, basically a GPS system. It will provide 33 vision over 33% of the map, centered on the project's capital, fame, extra influence, extra science. A tech park. Pollution on makers. Well, I like the percentage approach to reducing pollution. Mass entertainment researched. Video games, increasing stability. Oh, same part as vaccination. Okay. Cinema. And museums. Okay. You can continue to, yes, change the farmer quarter here. I want to shift the, the project locations afterward. $70, that's also not a lot. Space orbital researched, 300 fame picked up, increased money and city cap, 3 city cap, and 50% money on, oh wow, that's a huge one. Worldwide web, got the internet, stability on regular, so each district will provide one more stability, common quarter with a little bit of influence, money on each district, command compound, commandos.
The curves of this glorious opera house are even more impressive when you consider the fact that the plans were rescued from the trash can.
And let's take a look. I think we're almost done. We're on our last 4. We have 77.6, but we're not anywhere close to our maximum capability. We'll pick up 2 a turn, so we'll be done in 2 turns. And yeah, let's go to space. Let's build a GPS system for our civilization, or our faction, whatever terminology we want to use here. Where did I put their science? I put it here. And Paris is not where we want it. Loyi, that's where we want it. You guys can build this maybe at, ooh, it needs to be in a pretty empty area where there's no district in those zones. So it might end up, our space project might all end up over here. Nothing wrong with that. Let's keep pushing science farther and farther and farther. that actually complete this science mega project here with these two. That one's producing 1,900 science. This one's producing 1,600 science. And we are producing 77.6k science. Kunlun Mountains. Loyi gain a population. Zulu feels what? Friendly.
Your empire is an enigma.
That's not really how I want you to feel. You know, at this
You-
point, I feel like you guys should all just bow
Your
down to me.
company brings me great cheer.
Anyways, exosuit picked up. Superhero cameo, 300 fame. So Captain America, I guess. 8 points of combat strength for all our units, and +4 land movement because of exosuits. Eye in the sky. We have GPS now for satellites in orbit. They cannot hide strategic decisions. We can see movements, I guess. And we can build a lunar lander as well as a polar satellite. And this will show the rest of the map with a polar satellite. And we'll let Loyi do that, of course. And I guess this new island in the snow is definitely our space project solution here. I think Paris is actually done with the science projects because actually, what do we? No, we're done. We're done. We're done with all 3 areas. So if they're done, help finish the polar satellite in a turn. We can contribute a little bit here, and that'll be 1 turn. Sure thing. $903. We discover the Andes Mountain. So basically we're picking up all these mountain ranges because we have satellite now. We also learned fusion reactor, more fame, fusion power, industry lose 50% on cities, minus 50%. Okay, this is what we need. If we have solar and what the other one is, solar and nuclear for minus 50, and then this for another minus 50 from fusion power, then we can pollute as much as we want on Maker's Quarter. There's another minus 30 from wind farm. Yeah, there's no issue. More fame for neuro implant. 50% extra influence gain. 100 points of stability on all cities. So as long as, even if we're at 0, we get 100. Because I guess everyone has a neuro implant. Feels this is pretty dark. And we completed planetary observation satellite launch. So we get 200 fame for your second project of this type. This is your last turn. We have researched all technologies. You will remember as Serious Trivia, mythical ruler of the Turks. So if we end, we pretty much win. They want our entire map, of course. It's okay. They can see the whole world and cry about how advanced we are. Satellite network, over 333%. Basically, you're doing this for fame. Like, there's no 333% of the map. It doesn't really do anything. You gain some fame, money, and on the city. Lunar landers, narrative event, 20 points of influence. That's pretty much it. We have all the late game units as well. We don't have an airport, so those are kind of pointless. Yeah, and then a lot of infrastructure, we don't have the base buildings. So I think we can actually take a moment and do a little bit of review of the game, not only of our campaign, but just the game in general. I think we can just we can end the turn, right? We can get there. Like they didn't have time to build a lot of their science wings because they were busy building projects, which typically is what happens with them. Like this public school is only producing 100, but you know it's not worth 100. It's worth at least 1,500 plus. There's still a lot of room to boost science to like incredible heights. Yeah. Oh, I think they actually finished building all the adjacencies for school. Yeah, they did. So for them, it might be more. There's another 10% from hydraulic dam. And let's end the game.
How will humankind remember the empire you have created and its remarkable achievements? For it is yours that has left the greatest mark on the endless story of humankind. Your most impressive achievements were of stone and steel. Your mark on humankind will be made by the monuments you leave behind. And the wonder you built, world famous and often visited, it brought you fame, respect, and probably a nice income from tourism. Your fame also derives from your religious role. You persevered as a leader of a faith in these difficult times. A nod to your diplomatic skills must be included. You were part of a grand alliance with at least 4 other empires. Congratulations. Under your guidance, the thrilling tale of humankind has been rewritten in your own words. There may be future adventures and deeds, and even grander scope for this grand story. Regardless, you have left a great mark and answered the question: how far will you push humankind?
Alrighty. Our best era would be our current one, apparently, 4,130. I'm actually curious if we take that out, what would be our best one, because that would probably be more interesting than the final one, because we were just steamrolling the tech. Our Neolithic tribes, we got all 60 points here. Can we pause this? We can go back. I do want to review our game and also talk about some of the games here. We got about 3,000 scored during the drought. 2,000, a little less than 2,000. Oh, a little bit, around 2,000 for the classic as the Mayans. Kumar, we went really fast, so not a lot of points. 1,000 change. Ming, we also sped run through it. Then we were the French. This is really where we turn to science. And then where we really turn to science would be as the Turks, which is a agrarian affinity culture. What a joke. You think you're here to have food with +1 food for each population, but no. You're here to dominate. We're going to skip the others, don't care about them. We'll look at ourselves. We have 20 territories at the end. District built 334. We play 2 defensive revolution battles. Or revolt battles. 1 siege, 1 just getting attacked. We defeated 18 units, that include lots of animals, I believe. Our best city is Loyit, with all its magnificent wonders. That does not include the Eiffel Tower, which is in Paris. We have no real grand feat of military. We discovered 120 curiosity, that was really nice. Our longest ideology was liberty. Okay. Statistically speaking, this is our fame score, which I don't really care too much about. And this is our food. That was when we got sieged. Siege have a huge impact on your production and your trade and your income. There's so much that hit us when that happened. But yeah, we pretty much got ahead when we picked the Mayans, right? That was the turning point. No, this is the Kumar. But when we got the Mayans, this is probably more clear. When we got the Mayans, we left the pack with our production. And that just never ceased because we had such good infrastructure. Even if we stopped building Maker's Quarters, existing Maker's Quarter projects we did as the Mayans when we got the Kuna and built those, 6 tiles around them for all the synergies, it just carried us for the rest of the game. Right? We had really high at the end, but the later growth is more from infrastructure. This is where we set all the districts up. Money is something we never really focused on. Yeah, and you can tell it's not something we really did. In the end, we ended up having more money, but I don't think it was crucial to our victory. Because you can think about it, what can you do with money, right? You can buy troops, you can buy production. So basically you're buying production with money. And if you could just get production instead, and you can get a lot more production, right? 12k production, then you can get money, then why go for money? Science is a joke. Like, we thought the French was great, right? We went from, I think, 600-ish, 800-ish, maybe, from when we left the Ming, where we didn't, really I mean, you can't even tell because of how high we ended up that you can't even see the bumps along the way and who was actually ahead. It is ridiculous. Right, we went from like 800 to about 20,000 here. 20 plus thousand here, and we thought that was amazing, which it was, until we got to over 80,000 here. They need to nerf the Turks. Influence. We were always good at influence. I think starting out with the Zhou kind of set us up. Even the Zhou's emblematic building is not an influence building, which is a little weird. We really took off once we picked up the Ming, right? Because we were able to build those tea houses that really just kicked us up. This is just a testament of buildings, right? We dipped when we built a lot of districts, we dipped, but then once we got stuff like vaccination, video game, mass entertainment, we pretty much stabilized to the point where we not have to worry about things. Yeah, population's not even close. Machu Picchu helped. Religion, they ceased to exist. They're now us, basically, when those competing religions died out. Research. Everyone was close. Everyone was close until we became the Turks. We got sieged, or else we were doing fairly well. We had barely any military, but that didn't stop us. We have 5 cities. Could have more. I like big cities. I think it's definitely beneficial. You get more land to play around with the placements. You can have adjacent territories match up well to have a lot of nice cluster of emblematic districts working on each other for a lot of the bonuses. So instead of using, say, 7 tiles to pick up all the adjacency bonus, you can put 2 of them together, and then it would only be, I think, 8 tiles. Right? I think it will be 8 tiles on outside. No, 2, 2, 3, 3. 10 tiles, 12. So it's 12 tiles instead of 14 tiles for the full ring of affinity or adjacency bonus. And that is all the statistic we'll get to see. We don't need to see the recap anymore. And I think that's pretty much it for us. I think in summary, nation difficulty, not hard. 4 players only, super easy. I think aside from difficulty, the number of competitors in a game is going to matter so much, because that's actually going to push you to pick the next culture, or else the AI is going to pick it. And I think that's why transcendence is sometimes going to be worth it. If the AI just all picked good ones and left you with something that you absolutely don't need or don't want, then you might as well transcend and get more fame with your current culture. But that's something we're going to experience. We're going to move the map bigger. We're going to have 6-player map. Play the normal size map, I guess. And then we're also going to play a little bit more aggressive. I think we're going to go all the way to max difficulty. We're going to play the Humankind difficulty. I don't think there's a point to actually wait in between. It's just going to make the AI cheat more, I'm guessing. I don't know how actually the AI is programmed here in the game, whether the difficulty shift will bring different actions or whatnot. It's hard to imagine a single player game with a really robust AI. I mean, if any company can make that type of robust AI, they'd probably be better off selling that AI to all the game companies rather than making games themselves. So we'll see how Humankind treat difficulties. There's still definitely a lot of balance that can be added to the game. There's a lot of potential changes to a lot of the mechanic. Like right now, I don't feel like religion is very rewarding. Like, so what if we had the only religion left in the game? What did it bring us? I don't understand. Like, the tenets we picked stayed with us, but like if we didn't have religion, those tenets would be gone. So we got the benefit of the tenets. We rushed religion to the point where we got to pick the tenets that we want, but then afterward, then what? Right? What do we get for having this? I don't feel like we got anything for having this high faith at the end. It didn't feel rewarding at all. Research was a joke with the Turks in the game. Like, how can we allow another culture to pick, or another faction to pick the Turks in the end game? Like, we would have to count on AI being stupid and not being able to build emblematic districts well to not have them run away with science. Because you are catching up to a number that is absurd. This is the research, this is not the science, but this is the science graph. How can someone with like 2,000 science compete with someone with 80,000 science? There's no way. It's 40 times the difference. The time it takes you to get one tech, they would have picked up 40 tech. So that's too off balance. That needs to be changed. They can't have 300% per adjacency. That's just absurd. Yeah. And for agrarian culture as well. So there's a lot of things that could use some work. I really like the stability mechanic. I feel this is a great way to control the size of the city. This part I really liked. It controls what districts you want to build. Figuring out how to placement every city. That part I usually enjoy quite well. The research and the pollution mechanic, we didn't really get to experience it, so I don't have too much to say about it. But in the future we might. But given the fact that we're going for a more aggressive run next time, maybe we won't even get to see it. Like the game might be more or less over in the early game because we'll be fighting a ton. Basically, human progress is going to be very rocky because there'll be a lot of wars. So we'll see how that works. We'll see how the war fatigue or the war support mechanic works in the game, and see if we can maybe perhaps use religion as a way to support our war support. Maybe that's really the play. Maybe because we're too peaceful that we didn't get anything out of our religion. So a lot of things to look forward to. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Let's Play, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with a new one. Bye!